After thinking over his proposal, Jang Yi started to think that he knew he was going to ask him to take command of the city's forces after seeing his abilities in battle. But he never expected him to be this desperate, that he would decide so quickly, and wonders how he should refuse this offer. He tells the commander that he does not think he is capable enough to take on such a heavy responsibility and asks if he can't find someone more suitable for this role. Hearing that, the commander explains the situation to him and tells Jang Yi that Mayumi Takeuchi of the Eclipse Group has the ability to predict future events. So any move they make against the Eclipse Group will be predicted by her, and they will be a step ahead of them, just like the last time. They can't even rely on the weapon of mass destruction in this fight, as they will just escape before they can even launch it. He explains to Jang Yi that he can't think of any other way, as she predicts his next moves before he can even think about it. Hearing everything, Bailey Chongqing asks if that is the case, then how come Jang Yi managed to take out 4 of their members? If her abilities were so powerful, why didn't she warn those mutants about their fate? Hearing him say that, the commander tells him they were also thinking about that, and what they found out was that she was unable to predict Jang Yi's movements in battle. Her prediction abilities weren't working on him either, which is why she wasn't able to warn those mutants about their demise by his hands. After that, he asks Jang Yi to tell them what method he used that not even someone like Mayumi Takeuchi, with the ability to predict the future, was able to know what he was going to do. Jang Yi tells him he doesn't know that either, as during the battle, he also noticed that something was wrong after seeing how those mutants were operating against the Celestial team. But whenever he came in contact with them, he easily took them out. As he was telling him this, he thinks that Mayumi Takeuchi uses her abilities to see the future of an individual, but she can't see is probably because he is already dead in the original timeline and didn't originally belong to this timeline. So her powers don't work on someone like him. As he was thinking everything, the commander thinks that he is definitely hiding something from him, so he decides to make an offer to Jang Yi and tells him that for this operation, he plans to integrate the remnants of the Tenjin Squad and the Black Robe Squad to form a new team and will be naming the team as Tengu. He tells Jang Yi that if he is willing to become the captain of this team, he will promote him to be a captain and will provide him with all the resources he needs for this battle. Hearing that, Jang Yi started to giggle, thinking that he thinks he will be able to persuade him with that offer, while Bailey Chongqing thinks that it hasn't even been a month since he has been made the captain, and now he is being demoted. Jang Yi tells the captain that he isn't interested in becoming a captain, but he wants to help take out the Eclipse Group anyway and asks if they will be providing him with the supplies that he will need. Hearing that, the commander tells him he has his full support and can have any weapon he wants. But before he could say anything else, he is reminded that Jang Yi was still an outsider mutant, so it wasn't a good idea to allow him access to the armory like that. Hearing that, the captain thinks he almost gave him all the belongings of Blizzard City, so he changes his offer and tells him to make a list of the things he needs, and they will be delivered to him. Hearing that, Jang Yi tells him he doesn't mind that offer either and tells him he will send him a list later, but for right now, he will be needing a batch of top-notch equipment, especially those combat suits. He needs more of those. Hearing that, the commander asks why he was asking for so many sets. Is he perhaps planning on giving them to his friends? Jang Yi tells him yes and informs him that he just wants one suit for himself. He will be redeeming the rest with his points and asks if they could provide him with enough suits. The commander informs him that as long as he wants to redeem them, he can have as many as he likes. While thinking that as long as he joins the team to destroy the Eclipse Group, he doesn't mind what he wants. He will agree to his every condition. Seeing him smiling, Jang Yi tells him that he agreed he will participate in this operation, but that doesn't mean that he is planning on joining Blizzard City and will return to his base as soon as this mission is over. To which the commander tells him he has time to think that over, so he shouldn't make a decision right now. After the meeting was over, Jang Yi asks for permission to leave. The commander tells him he can and informs him that he is going to meet a very special person today, so he should be ready. Hearing that, both of them ask who he was talking about, to which the commander tells them that they are planning to contact several more investigation teams that are performing missions abroad and cooperate with them to take out the Eclipse Group. To which they ask what team will be coming to join them, and hear the commander saying that he has asked the help of the Samsara team for this mission. Hearing that, Bailey Chongqing gets excited and tells Jang Yi that if the Samsara team joins them, their chances of winning are much better as they have very powerful mutants. The commander informs them that the other team will also be very useful in this mission. In the past, He tried to call them to fight against the Eclipse group, but they were busy with an important mission, so they weren't able to spare the time. Now that their mission is over, they rushed back as soon as they got the news from him. He tells Jang Yi that with both of their teams' combined strength, there is no way the Eclipse group would be able to take them on. Hearing everything, Jang Yi thinks that he has no idea who these people are talking about, but for some reason, it has Bailey Chongqing excited. He thinks maybe it's a good chance for him to go back and ask Bailey Chongqing about the other thing. He tells the commander that he has no problem working with those people and asks if he can leave now. After which, he gets up and starts to exit the room without saying anything. Seeing him going, Bailey Chongqing also prepares to leave, but gets stopped by the commander. He asks if everything was all right, to which the commander tells him he did very well hiding Jang Yi's abilities from him, but he doesn't want this to happen a second time. Seeing his expression, Bailey gets scared and tells him he understands. After that, he comes out of the room, thinking that he dodged a bullet for the time being. As he was preparing to leave, he sees Jang Yi standing to the side and asks if he is all right. He tells Jang Yi that everything was okay. The commander just gave him some words of encouragement and told him to work hard. As they start to move, Bailey thinks that the captain just wants to save his own tail by using Jang Yi, and hears him saying that he wants to go to the infirmary, as he wants the combat suit, after which he will provide them with the list of other equipment. To this, Bailey asks him if he was sure it was the right decision to redeem the suits, as they are quite expensive. Jang Yi changes the topic and tells him that he doesn't need anything else for the time being. He comments that the captain should have given him permission to choose any weapon or equipment from the infirmary, as they were going against the Eclipse group. Hearing that, Bailey tells him a secret about this place and informs him that he was underestimating the foundation of the region, as the real good stuff is not the stuff he sees. Jang Yi asks what he was talking about, to which Bailey tells him that those weapons and equipment can only enhance his basic combat effectiveness, but this place also has genetic drugs that have the ability to increase his upper limit of abilities. He asks if he was talking about the ones that have serious side effects after use, just like the ones that were used by Bien Junwoo. Bailey informs him that Captain Bien was among the first batch of trial users, and now, after continuous improvement, the performance of the supernatural medicine has become more and more stable. He flexes his biceps, saying, as he can see, there is nothing wrong with his body, but Jang Yi refuses to take such drugs to enhance his power. Hearing that, Bailey suggests that he get a copy of Compound Number 5 just in case, which is an explosive potion that can give him a huge amount of power in a short period of time. He also warns him that it has extremely serious side effects, as it is a high-potency stimulant. He tells Jang Yi that he always carries a copy with him just to save his life in a dangerous situation, and tells him that the redemption points for that thing are very high, and not everyone can afford it. Jang Yi asks why he didn't use it when he was in Tian High City, and hears him saying that if he hadn't given the captain the Ice Soul, he would have used it. Hearing everything, Jang Yi wonders if he should redeem one just in case as they were going. Jang Yi asks Bailey about the strength of the Samsara team and how they compare against his Black Robe team and Deng Shintong's Celestial team. Bailey tells him that when they arrive, he will take him over to show it to him and guarantees that he will be surprised when he finds out who their captain is. Hearing that, Jang Yi says it looks like he has no other choice but to wait.